Welcome, everybody, to Does That Make Sense? The podcast where we create a little bit of chaos that we can control to try to make sense of the chaos that we can't. This is episode 9, and I have a return guest today that I'm very excited about because we felt like last week's conversation, a couple weeks ago's conversation just went by so quick. So check the description for the socials, tune in, and let's get right into it. My guest today is Nate Moraghan.
I'm sorry. It's a little bit hot. It's hot in here. Hang on.
He's going to strip down. What are you doing? We got a friend. Oh, he wore a Friends shirt.
It's for you.
To start the pod. Did you make that?
Yeah.
In the thing?
I made it like...
I was wondering. I was like, man, is he cold? He's sitting down to like... Oh, he's taking it off too. What are you taking it off for? Is it a gift?
It's for you.
To me. I have a gift. This is the first podcast gift that I've gotten. Thank you so much. I'm waiting for something to happen like on the inside of it. It's like The Office is better or something. No, so we're good.
No, it's just actually a Friends shirt.
It's actually really nice. Thank you. And you got the colors are all accurate and everything?
Yep.
Yeah, very nice. I don't know. Did people not see it? This is where
hold it up.
Where am I at? Hey, Friends. Thank you. Yeah. Last week I had one of my oldest friends ever on the podcast.
Yeah.
Christy. And so I got a Friends shirt. So what's going on?
Dude, I went to the Browns game on Sunday.
It felt like it was better than I was expecting. How was it in person?
It was hopeful. And then same old Browns.
A missed extra point and a missed field goal is easier to swallow when you're watching it on TV than when you're there.
I know we don't want to make this a Browns podcast because then we will really have no one watch it. But it really felt like our defense was amazing. And then our offense was slow and steady, which I will take. And we held the top passer and top receiver to like 7 points in the second half. So I thought it was entertaining, but we left right after that second miss.
It was a fun game to watch. I didn't catch the first couple minutes because my wife and I are we're actually house hunting. So
nice.
Are
you really?
I was at an open house. And it was funny too because I'm wearing my Browns gear and everybody's like, what are you doing at a open house when it's Browns time? And I said, because the guy who scheduled the open house scheduled it for 1 to 3 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I can't come after the game. The open house will be over.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I really want the house.
I really wanted to see the house.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the one. So
well, that's cool though. Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you got to go to a Browns game.
Thank you.
I get to go to the Browns Steelers game when they play in December.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
I think it's going to be a boat, like a train wreck. I think we're going to get boat raced.
I mean, here's the thing. And again, we don't want to make it a Browns podcast, but
we can.
I actually have a comment right now going semi-viral that has over 1,000 likes on a reel somebody made.
Yeah.
And it opens with Jameis going, I am so blessed to be playing football in Cleveland, Ohio in the snow. And he's just clearly so happy.
Full of life.
And I watched that on Thursday night expecting to get steamrolled, and it dumped snow, and it was just it gave me I just kept smiling the whole time. Like,
is that a Steelers game?
Yeah, Browns Steelers. Okay. And he had that, he ran it into the end zone on 4th and goal and scored, and we won.
I do remember that game because it was like green, pristine, and then just like 4 minutes later it covered in snow. It was classic fall Cleveland football. We can put it up
here and here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Here. Yeah. Here we go.
We're both doing
There we go.
Yeah. Presenting it. So what I want to talk about today is something that we teased a little bit. We talked a little bit about our experiences with the Love is Red conference and Acquire the Fire. You had talked about how your church was on a cult watch list.
Technically.
Just ready, set, go. Tell me about that.
So I've actually been praying about this exact topic because yesterday I put on a podcast and it was about a dude who exposes mega churches.
Okay.
And the guy who runs the podcast, he's like a pretty new Christian, but he said, before anything, I want to just say that if this challenges your faith, then just revert to the Bible. Jesus still loves you. So we're going to talk about deconstruction. There's going to be some probably heavier stuff between, church and whatnot, but just remember that Jesus is not the church. And, although he is, he loves you. And so that I just want to get that out of the way.
Absolutely.
If we say anything that causes you to, question or whatever, that is still just ground level. Yeah. So to start, I'm born pastor's kid, grandpa pastor, uncle, dad.
So multi-generational pastors in the family.
Yes.
Okay.
And my grandpa moved from Adrian, Missouri in the 70s to Marion, Ohio to start a church, but it wasn't like he didn't start it, but it was like in shambles. So he basically started it over, and then went to Akron and started a church in Akron, and then basically pastored at a church for a bunch of years, and then started a foundation called Love Akron that's basically meant to unite churches in Akron and beyond.
Does that still operate?
It does. Okay. He's no longer the CEO of it.
Right.
It operates
cool that it keeps going though.
Yeah, absolutely. So he retired and he lives down in Columbus now. But so
good for him. With
that, my dad met my mom in the youth group that of the church he pastored, and my uncle, and so they all knew each other, and uncle ended up being a pastor. He pastors a church in Columbus. My dad is no longer a pastor.
Right.
He does kind of similar to what you do. He does like low income, mixed income housing, kind of different like housing stuff, and travels across the country, works with that, and actually got that job. It's so wild. He was working construction to make ends meet because a lot of pastors aren't paid enough, or like,
or they're paid little for what cost of living might be. Yeah.
So
a lot of them have an extra job.
Right. Yeah. So he was doing construction and they just liked his attitude and took that on. So yeah, been in and around it for a long time. Dad was a youth pastor for a number of years, and then we left the church that I'd grown up in. We went to the cult church, which that is just like I don't know if that's real. Like I was just kind of told that like at one point they're called Community Vineyard Church. They're part of the Vineyard now, but there was Community of Believers, which is in how familiar are you with Cuyahoga Falls?
I mean, I know the area.
Do you know the State Road Theater? It was like an old movie theater, like on State Road.
Not like, I mean, I can kind of envision it, but
somebody might. But yeah, it was a church in that building. So people would walk in and like be like, where's the movies?
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, he went and was associate pastor there, and then got the job doing the housing stuff. And then we kind of left that church and went back to my childhood church, and yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. That I'm curious what kind of questions you have, because we went there in high school, and things happened, and I kind of stopped going to that church and went to a different church, and still was kind of involved and kind of not involved, and then COVID happened, and I was just like all together. I was like, I think I need a break.
So let me ask this: when COVID happened, I mean, COVID was 5 years ago that kind of everything shut down. How old are you now?
I am 27.
So you're in your very formative early 20s when COVID hits. At what point you use the phrase deconstruction, which is kind of a buzzword, and people have different definitions of it. For our purposes, we're using it as, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just for the sake of the conversation, I define it as, almost like a healthy questioning to create our own faith rather than carry on somebody else's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because so often when you're growing up in the church, especially with multiple, because it wasn't just generational in terms of grandfather and father, your uncle. So you've got direct family members, you've got extended family members.
Yeah.
Everybody has their thoughts. Were they all the same denomination?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think for the most part it was Assemblies of God. I forgot to mention my grandpa, so my papa, he has 9 siblings, or he's one of 9, and one of them was actually a Assemblies of God pastor in Hubbard.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you told me that before.
And so Bob actually he was familiar with him.
Yeah.
So mainly Assemblies of God, to answer your question.
Yeah. And so the first question I have is, at what point in your timeline did you start to feel like, is this mine, or am I just carrying somebody else's?
I can tell you the exact moment. So it was 2016. I was a junior in high school, and went into church one day, and basically sat down, normal service, and my brother Brandon comes up to me, and he was playing in the worship band. I was off that week. And he said, it's about to go down. And I was like, what do you mean it's about to? He's like, I don't know, but everyone's saying it's about to go down, like in the band. And I'm like, okay. And essentially what happened was the superintendent of the Assemblies of God got on stage and was like, hey, if you're here for the first time, we appreciate you coming to check out our church. We would love if you came back next week, but we need to have a family meeting.
Oh, no.
And then a few people got up and left. And
they just dismissed them because they needed to do like some church business.
No, not quite. Well, yeah, technically. And then what
a weird way to say it, family meeting.
Well, you'll see why.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say exactly what was said.
Yeah.
But essentially our pastor came up and was stepped down.
Okay.
And had done some things, and he had to step down and basically leave the church. And he had been my pastor my whole life.
Yeah.
We had gone to the church, left the church, came back, and this guy was like rock solid.
Right.
And I apologize if you're watching this and you know who I am and you know what I'm talking about. I'm intentionally being vague.
I mean, rightfully so. I mean, it's not our story to tell.
It's not, and it's not like it was publicized or anything like that, but it was like immediately, let's just say we found some stuff out, and he wasn't the guy I thought he was.
Yeah.
And it was like literally record scratch, mirror break. I can't trust anybody.
Right.
Like I at least can't trust leadership.
Yeah.
And so, I had sustained a injury playing sports. I had torn my TFCC ligament off the bone, which is essentially your ligament that attaches your pinky to your elbow.
What sport?
I was playing indoor soccer.
Okay.
And just cheap foul and fell out. Really weird injury. But it didn't hurt all the time. It would only hurt when I did push-ups. So I had qualified for the state track meet, went about my business. At this time, it was never mine, but I'm just realizing it was never
talking
mine.
About your faith
yes.
At this point. Yeah.
So I do the state meet or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I find out I have to get like reconstructive wrist surgery, like through my elbow and everything. So they do this like orthoscopic surgery, and I'm in an immobilizer. I can't leave the house for like a month or so. And at this point, and again, sorry if you're watching this and you know who I am. I'm just telling my story.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to say that, like, I think, and I'm not, you get to tell your story without apology.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Because we're not telling anybody else's story. Other stories affect ours.
Yeah.
And, I want you to feel like you can tell your story unapologetically.
Yeah.
Because that's part of what we're talking about, is that, things that happen that don't make any sense, they happen to us.
Yeah.
And we're left holding the pieces of what that affected.
Right.
And if people know that, I would hope that they'd be encouraged that you've taken those pieces and done something with it. So you're being vague. You're not sharing names.
Well,
so I just want to encourage you. Don't feel like you have to apologize for telling your story.
Yeah. Thank you. Not that you gave me permission, but thank you for that encouragement. Anyway, so I got the surgery, and all of my Christian friends were nowhere to be seen. Yeah. No one supported me. No one came in and said hi. No one checked in, nothing. And I was just alone.
Right.
And didn't know if thought I was going to be this great track athlete. And I didn't know who I was, and I was just left alone. And I started to get really mad. My pastor's not who I thought he was. My friends aren't anywhere. So fast forward a little bit, and another person really, really close to me, devout Christian, like completely betrays me.
Yeah.
And so I just am like, you know what, dude, screw this. Like I at that point, I was just like, I don't know what to believe. I know I don't like these Christians for the most part. And I'm just going to, take a break or at least like disconnect. I think I'm like, I went through this period of life, and I think I still can, where I just disassociated like really good. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just, all right, well, I'm just not going to be here. I might still be around those friends or whoever, but I'm checked out.
Mentally somewhere else.
Yeah, so I did that for a while, and the weird thing was I was still going to the church and still in the church band and stuff, and I was just doing it because I didn't want to upset my parents. Come to find out, they were fine with it, and they didn't even want to go at that point either.
Or they were there because they didn't want to upset you, kind of thing?
I don't know. No, just like they were just doing it.
Everybody's just doing it, going through the motions.
I think everyone was just doing it because that's what we were told, and so come to find out, they're discovering new things as well. And then COVID comes around and there's no service, and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
So this is like 4 years after the initial conversation that the church had, because you said it was 2016 when the pastor stepped down.
2020.
So 16 to 2020 was when everything was kind of like, man, like I'm having a hard time because, and I'm generalizing, so please correct me. It was like the kind of the trigger that started this was this concept of like, I can't trust who people say they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how did that in your mind, and again, you're in these formative years, you're still learning how to be a person in this age range. You know what I mean? Did that translate for you into like, because these people were religious leaders or represented this religious component, did you find that translated into being like, I can't trust Jesus? Or was it just like, now I got to figure out what it means to trust him because I attached trusting him to trusting these people because they represented that part of my life?
Good question.
I don't know if that makes sense.
That absolutely makes sense.
Okay.
No, that's the thing, is that was what was so strange about it, is because I could never count out my own experience.
Yeah.
But I never had I had like kind of, at this point started reading into like other, like Taoism and Buddhism and stuff like that. And like, at that point it kind of became spiritual, and I just loved Jesus still. Yeah. And so it kind of came this like mystic, like kind of exploration where I was just like, well, I know I love Jesus, and I know that Jesus is in my Lord or whatever. But I don't have any good examples of like that. Well, I guess I did, but I was just so disconnected that I wasn't able to see it, and I didn't know who I was. Right. And not even to mention that I'm like, 18, 19, who knows who they are. Yeah. But I've always been kind of this cerebral kind of guy. And so like to just wake up one day and be like, what is going on? Yeah. So yeah, I always had this connection to Jesus, didn't really know where to go or what to do. And I actually throughout the entire thing was able to still kind of talk to my grandpa about it. Mm-hmm. And my papa, love Akron Papa. And he was always just so supportive and would, talk to me about things. And he has definitely a more, I wouldn't even say conservative, but old school type of view of things. And it was kind of later on down the line, I was able to like kind of talk to people who were able to, break things down for me. Yeah.
So fast forward your timeline, you and I met 22. We talked about a couple weeks ago. And so you're in the middle of this kind of thing at this point, right? Or was there like something that happened between 20 and 22 where you're like, oh, I feel better now? No. Or I'm, because we had a conversation. Then the reason I'm asking is because before this was a podcast studio, one of the first like in-depth conversations we had about this happened in this room. And I was sharing some books that I had read, and talking about kind of my perspective and my experience. Cause I grew up as a pastor's kid. My dad was a pastor at 10. And that's been my life since then. He was a lay minister. He did youth group as a volunteer when I was even younger. And so I've been in the church world. I've been in the ministry world my entire life. And so my experience, there was nothing so traumatic as the pastor having to step down. Yeah. Right. I'm assuming because of some behavior that the church warranted and said, you're not able to continue as your role in this thing. And that happens frequently. And, sometimes it's because there's so much pressure put on these pastors, and other times it's because they're just not the people we think they are. And we don't know. I don't know that particular pastor's story. But my experience has always been that the idea of the teachings of the person of Jesus have always been rock solid for me. Yeah. Because it's about treating others the way that you want to be treated. It's about serving those that are less fortunate than us. It's about community. It's about respecting the humanity of other people, right? Yeah. And whenever I've had doubts or fears or questions, I have always just fallen back on those concepts. Yeah. Because no matter what, you could read any of the thousands of religions that exist in the world. Yeah. And the vast majority of them have some resemblance of those tenets as their core.
You're saying the resemblance of Jesus as their core?
No, the resemblance of the teachings of other people exist, and they matter because they exist. Right. There's very few religions that go back thousands of years that don't have those concepts as their core. Some scholars would even say that Jesus's teachings were just reteachings of older religions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not it.
And so it's interesting to me that, but again, what it says though is that the idea is ingrained in us.
Yeah.
From a young age, like hatred is learned.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a natural thing that we develop. We're taught it and we learn it.
Yeah.
You know, community is innate. I watch my 7-year-old and she will talk to anybody that's, especially kids her age. You watch a child, and no child that's not taught to be afraid or to not like other people naturally has hatred towards other people.
Right.
You know? And so it's in our DNA. So there's a long way around to come back to this thing. Like when we met in 22, like, and even now, 3 years later, we still have these conversations, and you and I have both, we'd be like, we got to have them more. Like that was really fun.
Right.
And so I guess the next question that I would ask is,
well, you had asked another one, and that was I in deconstruction in 2022?
Yes.
And
I was going to ask it again, but in a different way.
Sorry. Yes, I was.
No, good.
And I had slowly begun kind of like entertaining the idea again. And like you said, I still knew that like Jesus loved me, and that it got back down to literally loving your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, like treating your body as a temple or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that. Like in the hippiest version of me, that's what it was. Where it's just like, you just got to love your neighbor.
I mean, we could all benefit from being a little more like the typical hippie, you know?
Well,
maybe.
Yeah. The typical hippie ideal, the typical hippies I know are not like Jesus.
I guess it just depends, you know? Brandon, what do you got to say?
Nothing. I'm one of them.
We love the hippie world.
Yeah.
I
love them.
Here's what I think. And I want to have this dialogue and have this discussion. So anybody who wants to pipe in, please do. For me personally, if I were to put myself in the category of deconstructing, like what I've learned, what I was taught about the rigidity of religion, I'm finding that the life that I'm living now, not abandoning the basic tenets of the faith, but challenging some of the behavioral components of it, I'm freer.
Oh, for sure.
Do you find it's like I find it easier to love other people?
So I've got a tangent about this, and it's not even a tangent. It's just literally how it is. Dude, like, and so what, and I might be jumping the gun here, but it feels like the right time to say it. So what kind of changed it for me is, so I attend a church now in Columbus that's conveniently pastored by my uncle, so I can kind of like ask him questions or whatnot. Yeah. And he did this series to start the year called Cover to Cover. And he just like went through how it was written, the literary types in the Bible, because it's not just like one thing.
No.
The context of which book, like how the books were written, why they were written, and who they were written to. And to me, that like blew it open. And the message that you see in the entire Bible is that the church sucks.
Yeah.
The whole people are corrupt and the church sucks.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
There is definitely a thread. Yeah.
And it's like, if you would just like open it up, you'd realize that like sometimes I just wonder what Jesus thinks or what God thinks about like what's going on now with like all these churches or Christians getting killed or whatever, where it's just like, I literally have been on this for 2,000 years, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
I sometimes think about what would happen if Jesus walked the planet now, like what he would think about like the modern American church.
Yeah.
You know? And the only thing that I have to go by is what I read in the Bible, which is translated and potentially mistranslated over thousands of years from what he actually said or whatever. You know, we're pretty confident in like the basic teachings of Jesus and their interpretation.
Right.
It's the interpretations of those that have been translated, and then everything gets like so complicated. And so I always imagine myself, and I'm like, just reading the red letters of the Bible,
right?
Which, if you're unfamiliar with the biblical like concept, there's red letter editions of the Bible where all the words that Jesus said are printed in red. So you know what Jesus said. So if you didn't know that, there you go. Like we're learning something. Red letters are what Jesus said. So I always taking just what you learn about Jesus from the red letters, nothing else. I constantly wonder what he would think of the modern day, especially American church.
Yeah.
Like Western Eastern civilization churches, I don't know anything about, so I can't say that. But I wonder what he would say about the American churches. And I'm going to go out on a limb, and we're recording this and it's living on the internet.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he would have a lot of awesome things to say about it.
He definitely wouldn't.
You know?
Because if you look at and sorry to cut you off, but
No, I like it.
if you look at what he would get mad at them, and he would get mad at, like, you see Pharisees everywhere nowadays, and you see religious bigots. And I want to make a clarification. I said that the Bible says the church sucks. The Bible does not say the church sucks. The Bible says that church is the people, but like they would criticize like the religious institutions that were built around it and the synagogues and whatnot.
There's a thread in the Bible, to just echo your point, that from the Genesis all the way, that it's almost like the whole thread is that God's just trying to like make it better, where he's just like, this is what, like, come on guys, like, this is really simple. Like, love God first and then love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thread, you know? And there's 50 books that I could recommend that just would absolutely turn common understanding of biblical text on its ear and just make it be like, what? That's not what it meant. It meant this instead. And then there's 50 people that are going to argue that, and 1,000 podcasts that are going to say what they know.
Yeah.
Here, I'm 41. I've been a Christian, a Christ follower. I said the prayer that's not actually in the Bible, but I've done all the things that Christians do, right? I know less now than I've ever known in my life about religion, about what Jesus actually meant when he said these things. I know less because, like, the world gets more complicated, relationships get more complicated. But here's what I know, right? Is that if we treat other people like we want to be treated, everybody's treated better. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't need to know anything else about anything.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've read books that question the existence of hell. I've read books that challenge those books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I know what I've been taught.
Yeah.
I know what in my head I can visualize myself believing.
Yeah.
But we don't know, right?
Yeah.
With 100% certainty, which is why it's called, faith.
Yeah.
Because it is believing something without having all of the evidence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But this is what I do know, is that if you and I disagree with each other, but I disagree with you knowing that your blood runs through your veins the same way my blood runs through mine.
Yeah.
Everybody's better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are treated better. And so for me, if we're talking about deconstruction and challenging this thing, I grew up in a church that I had to convince you, and this is not true of you, Nate. I'm just another person. I had to convince you that what you believed was wrong unless it was the same as what I believed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And that question makes sense, but the concept of that is wild.
Yeah.
Because then what does that say about everybody else's experience?
Yeah.
What does that say about everybody else's perspective? There's some people, like, I used to tell people that God is your father, right? And they were sitting there going, well, my father molested me.
Yeah.
And I'm over here comparing the creator of the universe to the person who has their picture of that person is the worst.
Yeah.
And my thing is, well, God didn't do that.
Dude, you got to read about this, Father, though.
You know what I mean? And so, like, then I heard a pastor say one time that God is not the reflection of your earthly father. He's the perfection of your earthly father. And I was like, that's like fortune cookie nice.
Yeah.
But like, someone who doesn't have a father or his relationship with their father is bad does not want God to be father. They hate the concept of a father.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or they go and they read and see what it's really about. And because like that, what he's saying is not incorrect, but it can be insensitive, you know?
And that's my thing, is that we have to take into account that the other person's experience is real.
Oh, for sure.
You know? And for me, I stopped a long time ago trying to convert people.
Yeah.
And I just started wanting to know people. I want to know them. I want to know why they process the way that they do. I want to ask questions that, I mean, even my wife is like, that's not appropriate. Like, people don't want to talk about that. And I'm like, well, I want to have a relationship with people where if they don't want to talk about it, they can say, I don't want to talk about that.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But I don't want to not talk about it because I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I want to not talk about it because I asked and the person was like, I'm not comfortable with that conversation. And I'll go, okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about something else. And then we find that. And then, I mean, I in my experience, I can find all kinds of ways where asking challenging questions has led to really healthy conversations.
So I've got something to say about that, actually. My mom, and this is like one of the best things my parents did for me, was that, like, my mom's a clinical counselor. And
Super important.
So important. Yeah. Like, that's a serious, like, seriously important detail. But she used to say, we're not afraid of emotions. And I thought that was so insightful because, like, I was not discouraged from feeling things or from, it was like, well, why are you feeling this? And if we had to have a tough conversation, then we'll just have it.
Yeah.
You know, and of course there's another saying that she has that she got from one of her mentors that's, well, shovels also do damage, which is if you just keep digging and digging and digging, then it might not be a good thing to have a super deep conversation with someone who's not ready to have it.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay to stop digging.
Yeah.
Shovels also do damage.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really good.
So I was like, this is like the type of stuff I'm hearing. And so I thought that what you were saying right there is just like, I also want to be in those rooms. I want to be talking to people who are getting deep and who are willing to, you know, but don't get me wrong. I love to fool around and talk about BS, but like at my core, I really do love having deep conversations. Me and Brandon, like one of these, it was the last trip we were sitting and we were just like getting deep about a lot of stuff. And so part of like what I've kind of already been talking about, I just like kind of subjected Brandon to like, this is what I've been learning about Paul. And we were just up at like 1 a.m. We had to be up so early.
Brandon
we were just like getting deep.
Brandon is like, this is great. Can I take a nap? Can I go to sleep?
No, dude, we had to fight to go to bed. Like me and Brandon will sit and yap and yap and yap.
Yep.
You and I, Brandon, to kind of continue that same thread, is that you used to come to the after school program back in the day when I would be doing devotions.
Yeah.
You joke all the time about how it's like whenever Andy grabbed that seat and sat backwards on that chair, we knew it was about to get real.
Oh yeah. Whenever Andy goes old Uncle Danny.
Uncle Danny and sits down in that chair backwards, we're about to hear some stuff. And I used to talk about everything from like everything a teenage boy would experience, like going through puberty. I'd be like, the girls are going to the gym, girls with the female staff. I'm gonna have a conversation with the boys over here. And then there's just me, this like 20-something kid, like, now fellas, you know what I mean? Like, this was back in the day when my thing was still about behavior.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to do this, or you don't want to make this kind of decision because it leads down this path. Instead of getting to the core of it and being like, hey, puberty's weird, right? Like, let's just talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And because as an adult, you've come to me and you've rehashed those same conversations and asked me if I still think now the way that I did then. And generally my answers have been like, the principle is not necessarily I've abandoned, but the way that I would approach it certainly has changed. Yeah. And so, but we also disagree on some of that as adults now. But Brandon, you and I, and this is, again, I'm just rambling to get to this one simple point, is that when you and I talk, if we disagree, we always end the conversation by going, I love having these conversations because it's possible to disagree with somebody and still care deeply about them. You know? And religion is one of those things where it's so controversial and so split as an institution that if we can strip away all of that and just talk about, like, here's my experience. This is what my experience taught me. Here's what I'm reading has taught me. And this is how I'm connecting it to what I already know. And this is how I'm connecting it to what I want to know is true about life, or that I hope is true about life. And then your experience is different and your experience is different. Both of those experiences affect mine, and it gets all hippie. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, it swirls. And then it creates something different which I honestly, the older I get, feels like is the whole point.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's about. I mean, here's the thing about it too, is that we're going to learn off each other, and getting kind of back to the Bible is that like, it's about the community. Like in a way, in a weird off way, this could be considered church. And you know, we don't have a Bible out. We're not reading scripture or anything like that, but talking about things that might be uncomfortable, talking about things that like, hey, I'm not sure about this anymore and it's scaring me. And you not being like, well, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Or you have to believe this because I'm right and you're wrong.
I'm sure you definitely had people do that in your past, because I definitely did. I mean, if you didn't, that's okay.
I was this close to being that person sometimes.
I was going to ask you that as well.
Can I say something before we get too far away from it?
I would like to
say that I think conversations with people that you disagree with, if done right, and like both people can have an open mind and you can just like honestly and genuinely be nice to each other and just have the conversations, are the best conversations that you can have, because you not only are like getting the opportunity to learn more about what the other person's perspective is, but you're doing it in a respectful manner that allows you to share what you really think, because they're accepting of the fact that that's just the way that you are.
Right. I disagree.
Sure.
Next. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, you're exactly right. And I love it. And that's what I love about, because I'm significant. I mean, I say the word significantly. My life experience is vastly different than your guys.
So I was going to ask that.
Go ahead. Because then I'm going to come back around about like where I'm at in my life. So
because that's what I'm going to ask you.
So
that's what I'm going to ask you. Do you, when you look back at your, what is it technically youth pastor, or what would you have considered it back then?
When the job that I had, youth pastor.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were a youth pastor, like, and I don't even know really how to phrase this, but because you've asked me a lot about mine, and I want to know, did you go through your own kind of like, I'm not sure anymore? And did that ever overlap with your ministry time? And where are you at now?
I did go through my own. It did overlap with the ministry. And to kind of clarify those terms for everybody, my ministry, the work that I was doing was the after school program at Refuge. The goal of Refuge was to I can still quote with accuracy the vision, the mission. It was to utilize community resources to provide an environment of safety, teaching students the importance of wise decisions, and equipping them to be the leaders of tomorrow in their homes, schools, churches, and communities, right? That was the mission of Refuge. The vision statement was to connect people to their creator, right? All I wanted to do was to take this idea, this concept of God as a loving, omnipotent, omniscient, creating being, and connect people to him, right? And him, even saying him is weird because we're gender. It's like, to connect people to God, right?
Yeah.
The vision was to teach, the mission was to teach the importance of wise choices, because what I wanted specifically was that people didn't think that they have to be a Christian to enjoy the benefits of Refuge. That coming to Refuge was not an attempt to convert you from where you were to some idea of Christianity, right? It was to create the understanding that your choices now pave the road that you're going to walk on tomorrow. And the wiser the choices, the smoother the road, right? And if you make wise choices and you have a solid foundation of how to treat other people and how to process crisis, when other situations that happen to you create potholes in that path that you're on, you're better equipped to handle them.
So when did that change?
That was the whole idea of Refuge, and it's never changed.
I mean,
right?
like with your deconstruction.
And so what happened though was, as I dived deeper into the Bible and understanding and teaching kids this stuff, the first thing was that I was teaching this stuff to people as if I was the ultimate authority on it. And I had this realization that I don't know everything. I can't come at it with so much confidence to try to teach these young, impressionable teenagers that I know everything there is to know about it. The first thing I had to do was put the ego aside and go, I need to pull way back and zoom way out from like specific stuff and go, I don't know your story, but zoom out big picture. I know that wise choices are important. So let's start with defining what a wise choice is. It's not have sex before you're married or not, right? It's think about what the consequences of those choices could be and decide if those consequences are worth the risk of making that choice. Right? Because I think for me, that changes the kid's faith being a version of mine into them going, this is something that I actually want to be a part of my life because it's helping me.
Yeah.
It's not because Andy seems cool and this is what he says is good and I think that his life's pretty cool, so I'll just mimic it. Because then if their life isn't cool or it doesn't work out the way they want, I'm the scapegoat because they can say, oh, he was wrong.
Or,
do you know what I mean?
Or if you mess up, then you're me in 2016.
It puts me in a situation where I can't live up to the standard.
Yeah.
And so that was really the kind of the turning point for me to be like, hold on, what kind of door does this path open as it relates to like religion and Christianity, right? And then there was a major turning point for me because, and this might be controversial to people who listen to the podcast, but homosexuality was kind of the big like changing factor for me because everything that I was always taught is that homosexuality is a sin. It's an abomination to God. Right. Then I met a gay person.
Yeah.
and just being honest, like I thought God doesn't hate this person. God doesn't hate this person. If God hates and I swear to you, I had this thing. If God hates this person, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. Like it really hit me in a way where I was like, did I just have that thought?
Yeah.
Almost like uninspired. Like I didn't think it. It just happened. If God hates this person, I don't like that being.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't like something that hates this person for just being that. And I'm generalizing because there's going to be a lot of Christians, especially if conservative Christians watch the podcast and they want to leave a comment, they're going to say, God doesn't hate the person. He hates the sin. Hate the sin, love the sinner, and all this stuff. Like somehow that's first of all, it's not even anywhere in any translation of any Bible that has ever existed. And it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense when you really break down like what that statement actually is.
Yeah.
And so that was the other thing too, because there was a point in time where I thought I'm going to stop doing weddings as a pastor because I don't want to say no to people who are gay that want to get married.
Yeah.
And then say yes to straight couples. Because I want these people to celebrate and enjoy and love who they love. But if I put my name on and I was torn,
right?
And I almost just stopped doing weddings altogether.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't do a lot of weddings. Right. But I have performed ceremonies for same-sex couples who wanted to get married.
Yeah.
Like I've done that and they were awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like those people love each other so much. And I have far less concerns. I did premarital counseling. I have far less concerns about those people's marriage lasting than some heterosexual marriages that I've done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's this uber Christian, like conservative thing is that gay marriage is ruining the fabric of America. I'm like, there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. That's not true. It's that, and I'm talking too much. It's that, acquire the fire concept of we're at war. It's a holy war. And if we allow these ungodly things to happen, God's going to turn his face from us and America's going to go to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
It's about power. It's not about love. It's not about compassion, right? But it's masked in that because, well, we love these people. So we have to tell them that they're going to hell because we don't want them to go to hell. What?
Yeah.
That's not, those two things they're not true at the same time.
Does the Bible say anything about us not judging? Because aren't we not supposed to be the judge?
It says,
judge not lest you be judged is in there.
Yeah.
Right? Which is just a fancy way of saying
there was
don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house, you know? But then there's other concepts where people take it and go, well, if you're wrong, I got to tell you that you're wrong.
There was a part of the Bible. It's probably in one of the Gospels. Well, it definitely is because Jesus was there. But they basically all these people had thrown a woman down, and she had done I don't remember what. And for the record, I am still learning very much.
I hope that you're telling the story I think you're going to tell.
Yeah, and so basically they
speaks to your point.
They
Brandon.
throw this woman down, and they're like, Jesus. She messed up.
She was caught in the act of adultery.
Yeah, the act of adultery shouldn't. The Bible says we should stone her. What do you say? And he says, he who without sin cast the first stone, and they all set him down because they were like, well,
Was that not Mary Magdalene?
I don't know. I don't think.
I thought that was her.
I don't think it was.
Some people. I don't think she was ever identified.
Okay.
I think that people might connect pieces based on some stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I don't want to say it with definitive.
So it's theorized, though.
And
yes.
For the record, real quick, I just need to get this out. I am still learning, and so I think that we're literally talking about figuring out while we're figuring it out. Yeah. So if I'm wrong, I am sorry. Correct me in the comments. But,
and again, here's the thing about it is that everybody in the comments doesn't know either. That's what makes this for me, that's what makes this great, right? Because we don't need to know 100% certainty. That's the beauty of it, right? But when our belief and ego tells us that we know for certainty so much that we start treating people like less than what they are, that's a problem.
And here's what I do know. If you literally, you talked about the red letters. If you look at the parable of the lost son, and so basically, if you don't know what the parable of the lost son is, a dad had a few sons, and one of the sons goes, I want my inheritance now. I'm going to go live it up. And he goes, here's your inheritance, son. And he goes out and he gambles it all away. He does whatever. Squanders it all, spends it all. And he ends up, eating pig slop because he was starving. And he comes back to the house he said, I've got nowhere to go. I've ruined my life. I'm going to go back and I'm going to beg my father to be a slave for him so that at least I know I have somewhere to sleep and somewhere to eat. And he's walking back up, and the father is standing there on the front porch waiting for him.
Yeah.
And he gives him the best coat, and he says, prepare a feast. My son's back.
Yeah.
And that's literally it, dude. That's what Jesus, Jesus is just waiting for you, dude.
I want to come back. I want to hit that, but before we get too far away from it, I want to tell something specific about the theology of the story of the woman that they threw down in front of Jesus, right? Because there's an important component in this story that is my favorite out of almost every story about Jesus in the Bible, is that it says that he stooped down in the dirt, right? Mm-hmm. And he was writing in the sand, right? Writing in the dirt. And so we don't know what he was writing. Right. And some people have theorized that he was writing down the sins of all the accusers. Right. And so then he said, to those who are without sin, cast the first stone. He basically said, yeah, you know what? According to the letter of the law, she deserves to be stoned. I'll give you have my permission, but only if you've never committed a sin yourself. Yeah. Is basically what he's saying. And so many theologians and scholars have gotten hung up on what he was writing. And this is what I love about this story, is that we try to get so much knowledge and so much information that we forget that the first act that Jesus performed when this woman who was caught red-handed in an act that was not just sinful, but criminal, he got down to her level.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything else about the story that we should focus on when we realize that if in fact Jesus was the Son of God, if in fact his purpose in coming was to bridge the gap between humanity and God the Creator, right? And again, I'm saying if in fact, because that's what we're taught, that's what the Bible says, that's what we're told growing up in church. We don't know with 100% certainty that was the person of Jesus's only mission, right? We believe that. We have faith that that's true. Let's just assume that it is. This person who has all authority in all the universe got down on his knees in the dirt at the same level of the person who deserved it the least. That's it, everybody. It's period, close the book, and just do that. And don't come back until you've done that as much as possible. What other lessons do we need to learn? Which is why I think Jesus would have such a problem with the modern American church, because the homes the pastors live in are bigger than they've ever been. The churches have more food than the homeless people down the street. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Times change. People are attracted to that. It gets people in the door. They hear this good news. Those kind of churches make lives better for a lot of people. I'm not bashing the practicality of it, but what I'm saying is that if that becomes the purpose, if that becomes the goal, when I was a kid, I wanted to grow up and be a mega church pastor.
Really?
I did. I thought that I was dynamic communicator. I thought I was reading leadership books when I was 15 because I wanted to translate that into what it meant to run a church. I was following pastors who ran their churches like Fortune 500 companies because I like leadership is a business. And I really believed that when I realized my NBA dreams were dead, that mega church pastor was going to be the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to have such nice clothes. I'm going to have a nice home because my church is going to be big. Do you know what I'm saying? And now the concept of that makes me feel like, oh, I'm so glad that didn't work out. Like, I'm so glad that didn't happen. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. I'm sitting here like, you want to talk about wealth. Like, if you own 2 TVs and a car, you're in the top 1% of the world's like wealth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're in the bottom half of American wealth. Like, globally speaking, there's no poverty in within 100 miles of this place. And again, I'm being general and I'm the big scope. Mm-hmm. But when there is a homeless shelter that's full of people and that's 2 miles away from a church that owns 60 acres, mm-hmm. we might need to take a look at something. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just ask ourselves, like, is this what we really want to be about? You know?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like I just said, there's 2 cars in my driveway. One's my wife's and one's mine. Mm-hmm. Each of my kids have a TV in their bedroom. Okay. You could argue about how affordable that stuff is now, but the facts remain is that if I do that and all I'm doing is complaining about people who are less fortunate, or I'm acting like I'm better than, I'm missing the whole point. Right. And, it comes back to the story of the prodigal son, the lost son. Of Jesus told 3 parables in that when he told the story of the lost son. Mm-hmm. He told one about a lost sheep and he told one about a lost coin. Mm-hmm. And there were 3 major components that happened. Something was lost. There was an all-out search, or at least a desire to have what was lost back. And then there was a celebration when what was lost was found or came back. And I think that those 3 things are the main concept of what makes the teachings of Jesus so attractive for me. Yeah. And when we deconstruct, I don't feel like what I was told was a lie. I don't feel like what I was taught at its core hurt me. I think people hurt me in an attempt to like form me into something that they thought I needed to be. And I think that you can echo that same idea, but the concepts are still true, you know? Mm-hmm. And so for me, this idea of deconstruction has really been more about reconstruction.
Absolutely.
Where it's almost like, I don't like the way the kitchen looks, so I'm going to break it down to the studs. The structure's there. Yeah. I'm just going to rebuild it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm not breaking the thing down to the basement, but I'm going to remodel it.
I didn't bulldoze my house, but I sure stripped it apart. And
we're changing some wallpaper.
I looked at the blueprints and I said, well, I haven't really checked these blueprints before. And then once
they were given to me by somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah. Somebody gave me a house and a blueprint and I'm just like, well, this is a nice house. And then I go one day, I'm like, how did this even get here? What's going? And then once you strip it down and you look, it's led me to get even closer where I actually have a desire to like seek God and pray and study the Bible. And I'm reading C.S. Lewis on my own.
I love how you said that. I read Mere Christianity when I was in 7th grade.
I'm reading it right now. That's what I'm reading.
I was the smartest guy in the world when I understood a chapter of Mere Christianity.
No.
Have you ever read that one?
No, I have not.
It is it was written in what the when did he was
okay, so this is a really cool story, and I know we're kind of getting short on time.
Tell the story because then we got some fun stuff we're gonna do today too. So hit me with this.
We can end with this. So Mere Christianity, which I'm reading right now, it's a phenomenal book, also insanely hard to comprehend. Well, at least kind of hard. I'm reading them over again. Like
if you don't know, C.S. Lewis wrote the Chronicles of Narnia series, which is really what like he's known for.
I think everyone knows that.
Everybody knows the Chronicles of Narnia. So if you're unfamiliar with the name C.S. Lewis, but you know Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis wrote them. He also wrote Mere Christianity. He also wrote several. If you're interested in some of these like old school theological, like psychological ideas of religion, read C.S. Lewis.
So here's what happened. So C.S. Lewis fought in, I want to say, World War I, and he basically was already doing radio, and he was an author in Great Britain in like the late 1930s. And in the 1940s, when the air raid started from the Nazis, the BBC, like BBC Today, approaches C.S. Lewis and goes, "We need something positive on the radio." And he goes, they were like, "Would you just preach on the radio?" And so he started preaching, and they recorded all of it. And so during the air raids, he would just rattle this off. This is in the intro.
Cool.
And so he would just rattle it off, and then he went back and he took the recordings and transcribed them into Mere Christianity.
I didn't realize that was Mere Christianity.
Yeah.
I must have not. I mean, I was in 7th grade. I probably was just like, I can't believe I have to read this.
It out.
It must have been one of those pages that you didn't reread, where you probably should have reread that page.
Yeah, my ADHD did not win out and have me reread it. That's fun. I need to reread it now as an adult. I mean, I was 7th grade. What are you? Like 12, 13?
Yeah, something like that.
It's been 30 years. Amazing. Also, he was a good friend and in a writing group called the Inklings, with J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Created his own language for that
No
book.
kidding.
Unreal. A smart that we don't see, a kind of smart that I just don't think you see.
Yeah.
Like,
well, people stopped reading.
I mean, maybe.
I can't read.
I'm people.
Thanks a lot, Harry Potter. Also great books. Anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch those.
You weren't allowed to watch them?
No.
I snuck them.
Yeah,
I wasn't either.
My mom took a hard turn at one point. Actually, I remember
Was
her.
it because of the religious component?
Yep.
Like it's
witchcraft,
wizardry
dude.
and witchcraft.
Yeah,
and
That's
all
the
that.
devil's
Same.
work, dude.
Same.
Yeah, I was too old to read them because when they were coming out, I was old enough to where I was like, those are kids' books.
Yeah.
I've read them as an adult now.
Yeah.
And if my kid was like, "Can I read Harry Potter?" I'd be like, "Can I read it with you? Let's do reading sessions and I'll dramatically act them out." You know, like that's how phenomenal. Now the author has said some incredibly
All right, we're gonna take a quick break.
disturbing things since then. So I want to make sure that I'm separating.
She's a troll on Twitter.
There's a lot of arguments that you can't separate the artist from the work.
No.
And I want to say that I think that Harry Potter stands alone. Like, I want to say that. Nate Moraghan, which I haven't ever said that your name is not spelled how it's pronounced.
No.
And it took me forever. When I say, "Hey Siri, call Nate," she goes, "Calling Nate Moraghan," or something like that because of how your name is spelled. It's spelled Moraghan.
Moraghan.
Moraghan. Moraghan.
Correct.
And it's pronounced officially, historically, Morhan.
No.
How is it supposed to be pronounced?
So funny enough, everybody pronounces it differently in my extended family. My whole immediate
Even
family
members of your own family pronounce it differently?
Yeah.
So what is the proper pronunciation of your last name?
I say Moraghan. Some people say Moraghan.
Is it Irish?
It is very Irish. Northern Irish.
Yeah, I always said Moraghan, but it's funny because you actually have to do the same thing for him whenever you call him, don't you?
Andy Dennen.
Dennen?
Yeah, that's what Siri wants.
I'm looking at Allie sitting in here. Her name's Allie Harpster. It's totally normal.
Allie Hipster.
That's what she is in my phone. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're going to do some videos?
Yeah, I got a couple videos for you to check out. I gave you the first one. This is actually a mixed bag, so I had some help collecting these reaction videos. Ryan gave me one.
Am I the only one who hasn't seen these?
Allie hasn't seen them either.
Okay.
But yeah. So
she doesn't have a mic.
No, she doesn't have it. You could put those on, though, I think, Allie, if you wanted to hear.
Ryan just got kicked out of the group.
I thought that headset worked still, but okay.
All right.
So the first one is called "Don't Text and Drive." You might have seen this one, but let's just go ahead and
I
pull
don't
it
like
up.
the way this sounds.
Oh boy.
It has the dash cam. She's texting. She's driving.
Oh heavens.
Oh, she's just driving.
Oh,
there's a turn.
heavens.
Oh no, she's stopping. She's stopped. She's driving.
This is actually me.
She's texting.
Allie.
Allie said this is actually me. She's got her hand on her head.
The amount of time she spends eyes down versus up is crazy.
This is in Youngstown.
No, it's not.
What?
It looks like it's in Youngstown.
Okay, I was like nervous.
Here it comes.
Oh,
Ready?
She's driving
No
like a
hands.
big. She's not. She's all.
No hands.
If you're
we go.
listening and not watching, she's not. No hands. She's turning. Oh no. Stop! She said stop.
That wasn't stop, by the way.
Oh, she was dropping the F-bomb
Yeah.
a bunch of times. And then she screams because it's like, yeah, I messed up.
No, you know why she screams?
Why?
She was probably texting her ex and sent it too soon. That's definitely what happened.
Oh,
If you notice, she's got like a tag. It looks like she's like going to a
working.
hospital.
She's a nurse.
Oh, get out of there.
She actually is
Oh.
driving a rental vehicle, and she tried to lie about it, but they had cameras inside.
I talked during the whole thing, so if you're watching this on YouTube and you see that clip, I apologize. But if you're listening, I was trying to narrate.
That's okay. There wasn't anything really happening anyway, so it's fine.
I mean, yeah, no good. Listen, don't
Can
text
we watch
and drive.
the wreck again?
Healthcare
You
hero.
went to just watch the wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that moment right there.
Oh, okay, before you hit play, she is both hands off the wheel.
Both eyes off the road.
Both eyes off the road. Both thumbs texting, seatbelt on. We're halfway there.
There we go.
And go ahead.
Ooh.
She hit a mailbox.
I really feel that scream though.
She screamed with her toes.
Yes.
That came from every
She
inch
wound
of her
up,
body.
but then she stopped.
Did she put it in reverse? Like, baby doll, you're sideways. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, the moment where she takes both of her hands off the wheel to double fist her phone is crazy.
I can't even turn left without my turn signal on, without my son going, signal dad.
Signal dad.
I have built-in driving police.
He's
with
not
my
even
children.
looking. He's just like on his Nintendo. And
Yeah.
He's like, signal.
Yeah, he knows we're turning.
Signal
He
dad.
doesn't hear the click, and he's like, you forgot your left turn signal, Pop. Okay, so what's the next one?
All right, so the next one is called, and this one is Ryan's. This
Okay,
one's
Ryan.
funny. Buckle up. This one's called RDJ Repents.
Oh, God.
For a treat. Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antonio. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made some crab apples for dessert now.
Okay, if you're listening and not watching, that is a clip of what looks like from Civil War.
Tropic.
Avengers,
Oh, yeah.
the Captain America Civil War, where they're all sitting around a table and they're all really somber. And then somebody like superimposed a clip from Tropic Thunder where Robert Downey Jr. is playing an actor who, for a role, goes full black person.
Which that degree of separation is important.
He has a medical procedure where the melanin in his skin is black. And the famous line is, he's like, I'm a dude who's playing a dude who's playing another dude or whatever. and so it's just hysterical because it looks like they're all watching around this table this clip and RDJ is like somber and sad, like, oh, my bad, guys, I didn't mean to do that. I like how it starts off by only zooming in on the two black actors first. Play it again.
Yeah, running from the top. It's short.
Yeah, it's
For a treat. Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antonio. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patio. I made some crab apples for dessert now.
Captain America looking back like, bro, what are you doing? That one's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
Ryan
hilarious.
sends me some of the best.
That
I'll
was
find,
a good
I'm not
one.
gonna lie.
What I want to know is what you're doing, Ryan, to come across this. And then you come across this and then you're like, oh, I'm sending this out. What are you?
I just feel like I'm the only one allowed to put things like this in the podcast.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we're gonna go ahead and be very clear who this one's
Oh
from.
my gosh. He said,
Not all heroes wear capes.
we don't have a camera on Ryan.
I'll get a camera.
He's black. And so he said, I feel like I'm the only one who can
Ryan,
see
what do you
this."
have to say for
Look at
yourself?
Nate.
Oh, we're going to superimpose.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, next. That was really funny.
Hang on, I picked two of them, and or technically three, but I want to pick one in particular. Do the baseball one.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of you, buddy.
All right.
This is cool.
That's the control room.
Oh, ball game.
Ready 4.
Good.
Take
Lord.
4. Ready 6. Take 6. Ready 1. Take 1. Ready 8.
Good God.
Take
I
8.
like you on gold. I like you on
Ready
blue
4.
real.
Take 4.
I see
Ready
you on
1.
Y.
Take 1.
I
Ready
see you
20.
on
Take
B.
it. Oh, they're f***ing awesome.
Holy.
Ready 9.
I'll take the
Take
end of it from the
9.
RF, Kegler. I'm not going to use your A.
Ready 20. Take 20.
Gold
Ready
is going to be
2.
first.
Take 2.
Gold is going to be
Ready
first.
6. Take 6. Ready to replay to gold.
Gold.
So the colors are the
And
replays.
Ready 7. Take.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
Let me milk this a little bit here.
Yeah,
We
you're
got some
fine.
time.
I got everything I need.
Ready 5, take 5. Ready to replay. Gold.
Replay.
Fly.
Blue reel, track blue.
Ready to dissolve blue. Track blue. And roll blue dissolve.
B in font
Ready
3.
to dissolve B
More
in
coming.
font 3. Track B.
I could watch this stuff all day.
Isn't it crazy?
Yes.
Roll dissolve.
Y for react.
Ready to dissolve
And then
Y.
A.
Stay there, Ernie.
So the guy on the left
No,
is
hang
calling.
on. You gotta
Y
wait. You gotta
next.
wait.
Roll Y dissolve.
A next.
Ready A, roll A dissolve. Ready out 4. This is gonna be
Red
great.
after this.
Ready red. Roll red dissolve. Ready out 4.
He calls 4. Ready, watch.
Push to him. Fly.
We're going to break here next.
And
We'll be themed to
ready
break.
7. Take 7. Let's go to
Breaking.
break. Music.
I love how she tried to take a selfie.
Yeah.
5, 4,
Fuck.
3, 2, 1. Roll your brake. Oh my God.
I picked this fully
was so
expecting everyone
great.
who's going to care to be in this room, but that is
That
so
was so
cool.
awesome.
I could watch.
I agree.
I
Oh
could
my
watch
God. All right,
those
so you're-
clips for hours.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it is a art form that you don't realize when you're watching it. Because the guy on the left is only calling the clips that they're going to replay, right?
No,
yeah. And it's smaller here too. You can see. So that guy on the left is the producer. The one in the middle who's calling the ready one, take one is the director.
is the tech director.
And the technical director is quiet. He's pressing the buttons. Doing what they say.
So the producer is, because they're calling out everything twice at the same time. So the producer has to be talking to somebody else.
The director, I think what he could be talking to the replay team. I could be wrong. I do believe that the director is speaking directly to the camera team in terms of like, I'm going to like ready
They're
one,
coming to
take
you,
one.
and then the tech director's following his call.
And the producer is actually letting people know, no, I'm not going to use that. Get rid of that. I'm not going to do that.
they
Get
have
rid
a
of
team
that.
like clipping
Yeah.
replay stuff.
Yeah, because they got to clip the replay stuff live.
I could be wrong, but I think the producer's in real time giving notes to either the replay team, the instant replay team, or to the
So
camera
the
team.
replays are the colors. They're
Yes.
coding the replays
Yeah.
with colors, and then he's calling the cameras by numbers, which is very common.
Yes.
Unreal.
And the technical director runs it all. So
There's probably 25 cameras they have to look at and pick
There's
from.
more than 25 there, I think.
Oh, yeah. There's
I mean,
lot.
what are you looking at? Because, I mean, the highest number I heard him call was 20.
I did hear 20, yeah.
I mean, and we're talking cameras all over the stadium.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's unreal.
Yeah.
I could call. I've only tech directed stuff with 3 cameras, maybe 4.
Yeah.
And it's not high action, and it's not like a baseball game where there's 3 million people watching, or however many people watch baseball.
Yeah.
It depends on if it's playoffs. It's more. And I have stood up and been like, why was my butt sweating the whole time?
Yep.
Like I was
Yeah.
stressed.
This is why.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
And I like watching them because they get so excited because they know it's more than what you're seeing on TV.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
it.
Well, this is real-time editing. I mean, stuff that'll
Yes.
take me several days to get done. They're getting done
And-
right now.
Because it's live. I
Exactly.
think, what is it? Maybe a 7-second delay.
Yeah.
Unreal.
With a couple spare $1 million, I'm sure. But
yeah. And
Oh.
and how many years of experience.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah,
Nicely done.
these guys, I mean, if you look, they're definitely they're no spring chickens, and I mean, you don't just get that
I
gig.
love that.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 left. Nate,
Yeah.
do you want to do them both?
Are they mine?
They're both yours. The one of them was
I
the
feel
core.
they feel a little completely out of left field.
Okay.
I'm not really. We can save them.
You want to save them? Okay. we
Yeah.
can save 'em.
Ooh.
Do you want another fun one? I got a
Leave-
couple we haven't
leave-
shown.
I would say definitely something fun.
Just do
'cause
one more.
For
Okay.
reference, Andy, I picked things that are like. I wanted to try some different types of stuff with you.
Yeah?
And
Well, why aren't we doing one?
well, because they're heavy.
they're not fun?
Yeah, no.
All right, we'll save them. Also, do you guys? I am a big Mission Impossible movie franchise fan. In Dead Reckoning, Tom Cruise drove a motorcycle off a cliff.
Yeah.
And you watch it, and even the behind the scenes thing, you're like, wow, this is incredible. And then they cut to the director or one of the producers, and they're like, so Tom Cruise just jumped a motorcycle off a cliff. And then he takes a pause and he goes, 8 times today. He did it 8 times.
Jeez, oh, man.
What I want to know is, it's like you're talking, and I know movies have these massive budgets, especially Mission Impossible, but those motorcycles didn't survive that. You're like, bring in number 7,
Yeah.
and it's just another dirt bike.
Yep.
And he just, the only purpose is for just to him drive it up this ramp off a cliff and pull his parachute.
I want to see him get it back up. She was going down in the canyon.
Yeah, I mean, I might be telling on us here. October Roses is a project that we've worked on as Replay. I was a producer on it, and Replay, there was a crew, and there was a scene in the film where somebody was killed and they were wrapped up and they were disposed of.
Oh, yeah.
And we're talking about going back and getting something. They wrapped foam and a mannequin head or whatever in a bunch of garbage bags, plastic wrap or whatever. The film's fine. Great. I enjoy it. I watch it. I share it with people. I love to tell the story. Tough, like 6 or 7 days of shooting. Everybody was like grinding it out. It's gotten some recognition. Fine. Everything's great. Brandon Lazinko, we've talked about him on the podcast. He's a director. Him and I work together on it. I'm proud of the project. I do chuckle because at some point somebody found this.
Oh, they found it?
Of course they did. It's not just gonna disappear forever.
Oh, I thought you meant like we got a call.
I don't know if somebody found it. I hope to God we never
to fill
get
in
a
the
call.
blanks, they threw a doll over and they never got it back.
And we never got it back because it was the middle of the night for you guys.
Yeah.
I was on vacation during this. Sorry. I was at the beach in Pawleys.
Yeah.
And every time that I watch the film and that scene happens, I think to myself, what if a kid was like walking down the shoreline and like 2 weeks later found this dead body, but it's just foam and whatever, a doll, and there was 2 of them because then you'd shoot that twice.
Yeah.
And so it just looks like this
2 dead
crime
bodies.
scene.
Yeah.
And it was just a short film. Like we're just filming. So when you said I want to know the person who's responsible to go get the dirt bikes, there's a part of me that's like, did they go get them for real? Like, do they really care that much about them? It's this cliff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I would imagine that they would have to go get him because some environmentalist somewhere is going to be like, no, you can't just do that. You have to go get him. But we did not.
Well, if the EPA asked, we did.
There's a part of me that's like, get out of here.
Hopefully, is there a statute of limitations on EPA requirements?
If so, I think we're still well within it.
Oh man, we have to look up something before we post this.
Get out of here.
But no, imagine kids finding that, or like a kid finding it, spreading the rumors, and they're like, "Hey guys, there's a dead body down by the worst ending to the movie Stand By Me."
Yeah,
you ever see that movie? They get there's not even a dead body; it's just styrofoam.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, I don't know, you can't watch October Roses just now because like it's been in some things, but I want everybody to watch it. So I don't know. We got to figure that out.
Ask nicely.
He's got to release it eventually.
I hope he does. He should. Everybody worked really hard on that project.
It makes no sense why it is, unless there's like some
festival circuit.
Everybody
still wants to
like a month ago. It was
that's right.
It was in a festival.
That's right.
So anyway, shout out to everybody who worked on that. Every time I watch it, I just chuckle to myself. I'm like, I hope nobody found those.
I have to rewatch it. I kind of do want to. How long is it?
It's about, they cut it. It was 40.
Which version?
The most recent version is less than 30 minutes now. Yeah, there's some stuff cut out of the beginning and then a couple things like in the middle, I think. Yeah. And there's a scene at the end that he tightened up.
Yeah.
It's worth a watch. All right, everybody. Nate, thanks for taking some time today.
Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure. This is episode 9. So like and comment. Like I said it last week when Christy was on. I get some text messages of people responding to the thing. Post them. Post the comments. Yeah, like hit the YouTube. When we share it on Facebook, comment on there. Share it yourself. Subscribe. Because eventually we'd like to do more with this and algorithms and math. We need some subscribers. So if you like it,
in our theology.
Yeah, if you like it, subscribe to it and then have other people share it and watch it and just keep it going.
And if you don't like it, let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
we love you just the same.
Subscribe anyway. We'll give you some rage bait, Friends is better than Seinfeld and everything else.
Hold it up.
All
Hold
right,
it up.
everybody. Does that make sense? Episode 9, we're signing off. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.